Hi everyone. Today I am working on swaps where we are supposed to use punches and dies to highlight our punches and dies. And as a demonstrator, I'm kind of working ahead because you want to have projects for March ready in February so that people can make them and order things and that. So I'm working on St. Patrick's Day even though it's only January. And I thought this might be a fun card buffet card. So I've got the dies I used just the other day for Valentine's Day. They were still on my desk, and what a perfect die collection. It's called, here it is here. Now it's called Well Wishes, or Word Wishes, I'm sorry. And it has so many holidays. Halloween, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, New Year's, Thanksgiving. It says Merry, Happy, Easter, and St. Patrick's Day, and Valentine's Day. I think I said that one. So it's really a fun die collection. It also has a great stamp set called A Wish for Everything, and here you've also got all your holidays. So this is kind of a card maker's dream collection, and I love it. This is a great time of year to purchase this collection because it is a larger bundle, and right now during celebration, when you spend $50, you get a free celebration item. So you can pick something free when you purchase this if you buy January, February, and March. And so it's a great time to buy it. Or when you join, you get a free stamp set in addition to the awesome starter kit. You get to pick any stamp set you want in addition. And this would be a great one to pick. It wouldn't be with the dies then. You'd have to add that to your starter kit. But the stamp set's kind of large, and so it's pricier. So this would be a great free one. But there's a ton of great free ones, so you can decide. But I really like this one. And normally there isn't a St. Patrick's Day stamp set anywhere. But this one has the St. Patrick's Day die, but it also has a St. Patrick's Day stamp. And then I like this one. May the luck of the Irish go double for you. I am Irish. I don't know if you can tell I have red hair in some of my videos, but it's kind of, I'm getting older and my hair is getting browner. But anyway, I'm Irish, and so I really enjoy St. Patrick's Day and St. Patrick's Day festivities and all the fun that goes along with it. So I really like making St. Patrick's Day cards. And so I've got the rainbow for the luck, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And I want to show you the punches I used to make the pot of gold. Also my shamrock and my little leprechaun here. So this is kind of, I'm going to add him to the inside. I didn't think of him until after I was done with the card. I wanted to show even more punch art. So on the next cards, my May the luck of the Irish go double for you is going to go a little higher or lower so that I can add my little leprechaun here. Anyway, let's make this card. You're going to need a few punches, and you can kind of look through your collection and see what you have. This is a newer punch, and it is the Tulip Builder. Now the Tulip Builder has kind of a large tulip, and also this that goes double as a tulip petal or a tulip leaf. And so that's what I used for the mustache on my leprechaun. Now his hat is made with just a round punch. His head, it's kind of funny. I was looking at this one for a troll head because I kind of thought these looked a little bit like ears, and you can add some fluffy hair. So this was going to be a troll head, but then I thought it also looked good for a leprechaun. And this one is called the Story Label Punch. It's a really cute punch. I like this one. So that's his head. Now, of course, his eyes are just little circles. This little tuft of hair coming down, I just didn't want him to be completely bald, so I gave him a little tuft of hair coming down. That's just another one of these tulip leaves. And his little nose is I think it's a 3/4 inch, and then these are just little hole punches that I had. And this little strip here is simply a strip of Call Me Clover. What a perfect card color for a St. Patrick's Day card. And then I just rounded off the end by sticking it through the back of, this one's a little big, I'll have to trim this down. I'm using scraps, and I just stuck the scrap through the back to kind of round off the edge. So that is how the leprechaun is made. Now the pot of gold, you can use a circle punch if that's what you have laying around, but I kind of thought this more oblong bottom, it's not quite a circle. It's kind of wide. It tapers more slowly, so I thought it resembled a pot a little better. And it's actually the balloon punch, the hot air balloon. And I just punched it from the bottom. And that's that. And then of course more of my circle punches using gold foil. And there are your pot of gold. And then in here I've got a clover. And how I made that is with our Celebration punch. This is free with purchase, and it's a nice little punch. So if you're ordering that bundle I showed you, the A Wish for Everything bundle, this is free with a $100 purchase. It's a free punch. This is going to be used like crazy, so you're going to want to grab this. And how I made the clover is I just punched out. Now you'll see it has 5 leaves, and we want a 4-leaf clover. My clover that I have growing inside here is actually only 3 leaves, but we want to have a 4-leaf clover. And all I did was I cut a stem from one of the petals. All I did was kind of curve it around and cut a stem from one of those petals, and now you've got your 4-leaf clover. Okay, so I have some tips on how to line up your rainbow of colors and get everything going. So let's put this card together. Now, as you see, I'm working on a grid mat. This is a mat that's available through Stampin' Up! In the tools section. If you go to stamps and then tools or stamping tools, you'll see that we have these grid mats, and a lot of demonstrators use them, but you know, customers can use them too. They're a thick pad of grid paper, and there's a couple different ones to choose from, and it's nice because it gives a little cushion to your projects. You know, when you use photopolymer stamps, it's nice to have a little cushion because they don't have that built-in foam like the cling stamps do. So it kind of gives you that little cushion. Another great way to get around that is a paper piercing mat, but I stamp right on this, and then I don't need to get out my paper piercing mat all the time. Plus, you know, you make a mess, you get it all dirty, and you tear it off. Now, and throw it away. I, however, found that I had some dirty grid paper, and it wasn't bumpy. When I do watercolor, it gets all bumpy, but it was pretty flat, so I just grabbed it, and I cut it down. And the reason why is I like the lines. The grid paper is really great for lining things up, and when you're stamping, you kind of visualize the line. So here we're going to use those lines to attach our rainbow colors. Now I am using scraps of paper, and I found that I had a lot of scraps of paper that were 1.5 centimeters, and so I'm using those. But I did have to cut some down, and so when I did cut them down, you can also use, instead of that measurement, you can use, let's see, so it's 5/8 of an inch. It seems like is close enough too. So 5/8 of an inch, and I have a lot of these different paper strips, and I did have to cut some, but that's all right. I am using, this is Blueberry Bushel. I thought that was a real good true blue. I've got Call Me Clover. This is a very bright yellow. I believe it's Pineapple Punch. It is Pineapple Punch. I don't use the bright yellow a lot, so I thought I should use it, and I forgot its name. Pineapple Punch. This is Pumpkin Pie. And then we've got Real Red. And we have Gorgeous Grape. So I'm going to lay those down. So on my grid paper, I'm just going to take some snail and kind of go all the way across. It's probably hard to see because I'm doing grid paper on top of grid paper. So I'm going to start with red. Now I know I'm missing a color. What am I missing? Indigo. Got your Roy G. Biv colors. Red, orange, yellow. But this is what I have cardstock wise. So now the reason why I'm lining it up on here is because I can kind of push that cardstock up against the red one and get it all lined up, and then when I'm done I can trim it, and it's easier than laying it directly onto the card base. So find a little scrap paper, and that'll work wonders for you, and you kind of can push it up next to that previous color so you know it's good and tight, and then lay it down. And our last color. Okay, Now we're going to trim this down so that it's perfect. And I have this super fun paper trimmer. This is free when you join during celebration. You really seriously should. It's free and it's adorable. It comes in your starter kit for free and it is so cute, and it's just really great for these tiny little clean edges. Look at that. Alright. Okay. Now I cut my paper strips just slightly longer, or 5 1/4, and I knew I was going to trim some off, but that's okay because that 1 5/8 inch strip is not quite 4, so it's going to be a nice little mat on that basic black card base. Alright, so my card base, like I mentioned, is basic black, so we're going to go ahead and place that down. Now I contemplated putting my Leprechaun on front because he's so stinking cute, but he's kind of large and I wanted to fit that Happy St. Patrick's Day die, and I wanted the rainbow to be next to the pot of gold because, you know, you find the rainbow or the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so those go nicely. So the Leprechaun, cute as he is going to have to go on the inside, but that's okay. It's a nice little surprise. Okay. So next, I cut out the Happy and the St. Patrick's and the Day from the Word Wishes dies. There we go. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now I kind of biased the letters high because I didn't want them to get too far down on the dark, just because you know, too much dark down there. I think it would be easier to read it up higher than on the blue. So that did bias them a little high. Now to stick your coins on, how I did it is I kind of flipped it over and added some adhesive to the back of my pot. And then I just started sticking coins down, and I just made sure they didn't go over the side of the pot because you don't want it to look crazy. And I just laid them down, and I tried to not look too much at where they were going, how high they were and how low they were, because I wanted it to be random looking and not nicely lined up in a row, because I thought that would look wrong somehow. And then I added a little bit more adhesive and did another layer, and I used about 10. And the reason why I'm trying to do it from the back and not look is because when I was looking, it was kind of hard to do random. They were all just lining up so perfectly that it looked too, I mean, pots of gold are kind of thrown in there, right? So there, I'm just gonna stick that one up there, add some more adhesive, and stick it down. Hopefully that looks random enough. I think it does. Okay, and then I just threw a couple more pots, kind of like, or not pots, coins, like they were falling out of the pot, kind of down on the bottom. And a glue dot would work nice for those too because they're so small. Okay, and then on this card I originally did, I added my little shamrock to the inside, but now that I'm going to put Mr. Leprechaun there, I thought maybe I would add my clover to the outside, and he can go up here. I think that would look good. Actually, let me use there. Okay, and then on the inside I've got a shade of Whisper White cut 5 1/4 by 4, and my May the Luck of the Irish go double for you. Oh, I gotta put him down first, don't I? Or at least figure out where I want him to go. I think I want him to go up high. Now let's put one of these leprechauns together. I have to make 7 of them. So let's put one together. I'm starting with my story label, Storytime label, and a circle punch. And this is just gonna go right behind the Storytime label. So when doing punch art, I like to use the liquid glue. It's nice to just have it on hand. Now I cut out some of these tulip trees, so he's going to go like this. And you can kind of lay it out first if you want. I think it helps to plan. And then I've got this little strip of black, which I'm going to put across here, kind of like a brim of his hat. And now I'm out of my liquid glue. Next one. Okay, I store them upside down so that they're always ready to go. Okay, and then now the green brim. I'm trimming down that little green strip so that I can fit it into the back of my punch, and then I'm just going to kind of round off that edge. Now I need to make sure it's long enough, so I'm going to kind of hold it up and mark it with my fingernail there. And go all the way down to where I made that mark. And round off that other side. So I'm just going to pick this up and trim the edges. Okay, now this little flop of hair is going to go down next, just because I want to make sure you don't see the top of it. He's just coming down right there. And now we're going to add the brim. There we go. Okay, and now that crazy mustache. And a button nose. The mustache is in Cajun Craze, and his face is petal pink. It's kind of a peachy pink, and I thought it would go good. Okay, now for the little eyes, I just used a little tiny hole punch. Isn't he cute? Now you could put a little flower in his hat if you want. That would be cute. If I'm trying to go crazy with my punch swap, maybe I will do that. Okay, so here is our leprechaun. Wasn't that simple? And Tombo's going to dry clear, so that'll be okay. And I'm going to put this inside. So it's a silly little St. Patrick's Day card with a funny little leprechaun inside. And I think it's cute. So I think someone will get a kick out of that. I think he's just kind of funny. So there he is, the little leprechaun. Happy St. Patrick's Day. You can get all ready for it. This is the Word Wishes die. And the A Wish for Everything stamp set, which can be bought together or separately. And think about joining and getting these items in your starter kit. The starter kit is awesome this month. You can click on my join video or go to my blog, bestpapercuts.com, to learn more about joining. And if you go to my blog, when you go there, a little pop-up will appear after a second or two, and you can get my newsletter. And I have card challenges or color combinations. I have a Friday newsletter, so you'll get a newsletter each week with different things, and always keep you up to date on all the Stampin' Up specials and things like that. And I hope that you'll join me there. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you like my silly little leprechaun.